The former Minister of Labour and Human Resource, Newton Kulundu, blatantly accused the West of hypocrisy to an extent that the then US Ambassador to Kenya, Michael Ranberger, chose not to shake his hand.
Let me take the bull by its horns and say that the greatest violators in the world, the greatest violators of human rights, of democracy, of transparency, are not found in Africa. We don't have the means even to reach other continents. The greatest violators are the UK and the US and other European countries. This must be said loud and clear. They must preach water and drink water. They shouldn't preach water and drink wine. Look at what has happened in Iraq and the Middle East in general. If indeed destabilization and instability can lead to situations where forced labor is rampant, then we must tell our friends, indeed they are our friends, that enough is enough. The millions of people who are killed in the name of looking for elusive weapons of mass destruction something must be said about it. And we cannot continue in silence as our brothers in the Arab world now and elsewhere are subjugated to all sorts of inhuman treatment. We demand that in fact all the violators of human rights, be they African or otherwise, must be taken to the International Court of Justice in The Hague. It cannot be true that court was established for African leaders only. There must be a way of finding our brothers and sisters elsewhere who also equally violate other people's rights with the gay abandon to face the International Court of Justice in The Hague. Otherwise, we are talking about hypocrisy. We thank the Institute of Policy Analysis and Research for their technical support in ensuring that the report in fighting trafficking in persons. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Minister. I am delighted to note that
Newton Kulundu was very much honest with Michael Ranberger, and for any country to develop economically, there are three pillars to be considered, and number one is honesty. David D knows there's a likelihood that the economic measures President Ruto is taking might fail, and that is why he's been mysteriously tweeting so that if by any chance the government fails, then he can exclude himself. He is slowly turning out to be the political Maguire in Kenyan economics, and that is exactly where honesty comes in, because I do feel that it is not right for the president to read from the tweets that you and I, the common mwananchi, should be reading from his page. He should just be honest and call the president and tell him, you know what, this is where we are and this is where we are heading. And by so doing, he will also be able to automatically manage the citizens' expectation economically. The second pillar for a country's development is none other than meritocracy. And meritocracy is the act of selecting the best qualified among the better so that they can deliver in your agenda. And that is exactly opposite to what we are seeing currently, whereby jobs are rewarded based on ethnic balkanization. If President Ruto deploys meritocracy, then I kid you not, his legacy shall surpass Kibaki'S, simply because during Kibaki'S tenure, he deployed non-political technocrats like Professor Anyang' Nyong'o, Newton Kulundu, and Chirao Ali Makwere, just to mention but a few, and we all saw the kind of legacy that he left. The last but not least pillar of a country's development is pragmatism. And pragmatism, in simple terms, is picking the best ideas from whoever it is, whether student leaders, whether researchers, whether scientists, or whether even from the opposition, purposely for the sake of the country's development. With pragmatism, it doesn't matter your political affiliation. If your idea is good, then it is brought on board for the sake of the country's development. But the funny thing in Africa, any idea that is brought on board by the opposition is usually rebuked with the strongest terms possible for reasons known by the government. And as I come to the penultimate part of this episode, in case if you're watching me for the very first time, kindly just consider hitting on the subscribe button. If you have been watching my videos and you have not subscribed, kindly do consider hitting on the subscribe button. And more so, if you're watching me from a different platform, either Telegram, TikTok, or Facebook, kindly just head on over to YouTube, search for Mohamed Sudi. I'll be the first right person to pop up. If matters socio-economic and political matters are your great areas of concern, kindly do consider hitting on the subscribe button so that each and every time that I upload a new video, it will automatically reflect on a notification panel. And by so doing, you'll simply be supporting my content. Thank you, and may God bless you.